This is Conwal Parish Church, the oldest building in Letterkenny. The Reformation and the plantation changed the landscape of Donegal, as it did with much of Ulster, bringing ready a Protestant community to the town for the first time. The church dates from about 1636, although it was later in the century, around 1677, that most of what we see today really emerged. Though there were further modifications in the 19th century, albeit the tower behind me may well be from 1636 or even earlier. But now, come with me and I'll show you something quite surprising. We're going to go round this tower now and then to the right to this grave. This is the grave of Lord George Hill. George Hill was a member of the Hill family of Hillsborough, County Down. He was born in 1801 and in his time served as an MP for Carrickfergus amongst many other things. He was also a major landowner in Donegal, owning vast estates in and around Gweedore in West Donegal. Indeed, he left a significant legacy there with these things such as the Kirch Hotel, which is still operating as a hotel there. But what's most surprising about this grave is not Lord George Hill, it's actually his wife, Cassandra Jane Knight. Cassandra Jane Knight was the daughter of Edward Knight, and Edward Knight was not born Edward Knight, he was actually born Edward Austen, and he was a brother of the famous English novelist Jane Austen. Even more surprising than the fact that a niece of Jane Austen's is buried in Letterkenny is the fact that there are two other nieces of Jane Austen buried outside Ramelton. And why is that? That's because after Cassandra Jane's sad death following the birth of her fourth child, Lord George Hill then married Cassandra Jane's sister, Louisa Knight, and she's one of the two sisters that's buried outside Ramelton. Now, come with me and I will show you another grave in this graveyard. We're coming now to a rather poignant and sad grave, the grave of young Richard McKelvey. Richard died at the age of 1, and what makes the grave stand out is the fact that there are no other McKelveys buried here. No ancestors or no descendants, just Richard on his own. And that begs the question as to why that would be. The answer is that it says here it was erected by Hugh McKelvey. Hugh was Richard's dad, and Hugh and his family were here for about 10 to 12 years between 1895 and 1905 or 1906. And the reason they were here is that Hugh McKelvey was a chief stonemason in the construction of the cathedral that lies behind me. And that's Conwal Parish Church, as I said, the oldest building in Letterkenny, and an extraordinary building in its own right. But we turn now to the Cathedral Church of St. Ewan and St. Columba.